Are we live? Are we live? Never know. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Red Devils Experience. We're doing the Red Devil recap. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2. We walk away with a point in a match that, let's be honest, in the first half, we looked absolutely awful and we deserved to lose. And the second half, we stepped it up. We played much better. Probably up until the end once again, but again, same thing as last time. For the past couple games, we just couldn't hold on. We just couldn't hold on. Another stupid mistake. In the defense, Wan-Bissaka should never be going to ground in that situation. And it cost us probably the 3 points because I think Liverpool, while they had their chances, it looked like one of those matches for them that they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. They helped us put the ball in the back of the net. They gave Bruno the ball, and he scored that absolutely fantastic goal. And we helped them put the ball in the back of the net by giving them a cheap penalty. I've seen a lot of people arguing that it wasn't a penalty. Listen, you go to ground in the box and you don't get the ball, 99% of the time it's going to be called a penalty. So it was stupid. It was stupid challenge. Should have never done it. Should have never went to ground. There was no need for it. Liverpool player wasn't running. He was running away from the goal, so there was no reason to do such a thing. But we're gonna delve into a couple more things throughout the match. If you haven't already, please smash the like button for us. It helps us out. It takes 2 seconds of your time. We greatly appreciate it. So go ahead, do that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications so you know when we go live. And other than that, welcome. Get involved in the chat. Put in your opinions or anything. Let's have a discussion. Any thoughts? Any opinions on the match? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. I mean, the first half was abysmal. We didn't have majority of possession, which you wouldn't even expect us to have. We had 0 shots. In total, we had 0 shots on target. It was like we didn't even have the team on the pitch. I was waiting for the team to come out of the dressing room. They were still in the dressing room in the first half. I don't know what that was, but this team has showed this all season. They can't give us 90 minutes. They give us bits and pieces. Sometimes they give us only 10 minutes out of 80. Sometimes they give you 45. Sometimes they give you 85 minutes and then they collapse at the end like they did against Chelsea. But yeah, this has been the inconsistency of the team. I think we're going to go into a little bit more individually today. I think it has to be broken down a little bit more individually because there was 4 or 5 players that played absolutely garbage, and then there was 4 or 5 players that had a good game, and I thought they performed well. So we could start with the bad, I guess. I think Marcus Rashford, again, another bad game. Ten Hag calling him out before the match, bringing him back into the lineup after he was dropped. Of course, he went off injured. Now, maybe that was a reason why he did not start him. He did have some type of injury. They didn't want to disclose it. But he did go down and go out. But he just didn't do enough. He just didn't do enough. He does these dribbles. He gets to the line, and then it's just never... It's never the ball in the box. He still tries to take on too many players. He had like 1 or 2 good crosses, which I think he should be putting in more of those into the box because he does actually a good job of getting the ball to the side of the box. But there's just no end product comes for him, which is a whole problem for everybody else in the team wise. Now, I think Casemiro was absolutely awful once again. That's 2 games in a row. He played absolutely terrible. I don't know if this guy is halfway in Saudi Arabia already or what's going on, but that was twice in 2 matches that this is something that I've never done, but we had to pull him off. He had to come off because he was so bad. He was so bad. But the only problem is you've seen when Amrabat comes on, Amrabat ain't good at all. He's way too slow. And he just ain't it. Now I would have probably kept on Kobbie, and just taken off Casemiro and put on like a Bruno and Mount. I don't know how well of a midfield that would have worked out, but yeah, I feel like Casemiro, you know, it was just an awful match by him, awful match. Bruno wasn't even that good, apart from the crazy ass goal that he scored, which was really really great goal. Took the chance. You have, you know, goalkeeper off his line, saw it, was smart, quick, took his goal. But other than that, performance wise, 90 minutes, he wasn't great either. Um, and unfortunately, I think Wan-Bissaka actually had a good match, but at the end, he ruined his rating because it was a stupid tackle. It was a stupid thing to do. You never go to ground in that situation. Everybody knows that. He knows that. He lost his head for 2 seconds. And it cost us 3 points, in my opinion, because I feel like we would have been able to hold out if we didn't concede that penalty, and we gifted it to them. We gifted to them, but we were sort of lucky because it was a strange match. But when United play, and this has been all season, it's been strange performances, strange results, and strange um just strange matches all around. You know, I mean, the first half we looked absolutely awful. Liverpool probably could have put 3 or 4 in the net, and we could have been done at halftime. Liverpool, same thing as the FA Cup. They couldn't finish their dinner. They had abundance of chances. I don't know how they were not putting the balls on target. I don't know how they didn't score more goals. And we were lucky to go in at halftime at 1-0. And then we came out second half. We turned it up like we've done many times throughout the season, where we play one half shit, one half good. And that's exactly what we did. We came out, we played well. We scored 2 goals. Kobbie Mainoo, by the way, absolutely brilliant goal. And I forgot to shout him out. And Willy Kambwala. I think both of them, they had really good performances. Kambwala, clap it up for the kid. I mean, that kid was fantastic from start to finish. He came in there, getting an opportunity in a big game against a big team in the Premier League. Second start, his only second start senior-wise, comes out, plays an absolutely fantastic, dominating performance. He was great. The kid didn't put a foot wrong. Again, we continued over from the Chelsea appearance. He did make like 1 or 2 mistakes, and he was still able to recover. I mean, that kid has some pace. I think I have to correct myself, because I think in one of the match reactions I did say that he didn't have too much pace. But I think he was put in as a right back or something. But he does have pace. So, but you know, we come out in the second half, and we played a much better game. In the first half, in the first like 10 minutes or so, I don't even think that we played pretty good as well. We dropped off a little bit. We weren't great defensively. We haven't been great defensively for a while. We concede way too many shots, and I don't know why we can't fix this, and I don't know necessarily how to fix it, other than the fact that the team is just not playing as a unit. I mean, I was watching Arsenal yesterday against Brighton, and Arsenal, while they play their game and they play a dominating type of style, and they weren't even necessarily dominating on the ball because Brighton are very good at home, Arsenal are playing as a complete unit. I mean, everybody's back, everybody's in position, everybody's marking a man, everybody's doing their job. They get the ball, they go, they play their game, and they do it very well, and they execute it well. We were attacking very well, but our defensive side, players not getting back in position, players not picking up their markers or certain players just going out of position from the center and losing the midfield battle. I mean, that was one of the things, and I think that's why Ten Hag put on Amrabat, but when it was to try and get a hold of that midfield, because especially at the end of the game, we just didn't have nothing. We just couldn't get the ball back, and that's been a problem for multiple games. So I just personally think we just don't have the correct personnel to perform the way that we want to see them perform, and just meet the needs of what the team needs to pull out a performance, to pull out a result. They can maybe sometimes do it because they have shown it sometimes, but at the same time, we've seen other examples where they can't do it. they can't do it, and I think that's just solely based on the personnel that we have. They're not good enough. So sometimes you get something positive, and other times you get something negative, and that's solely just because these players are not good enough ability wise. Um, I mean, thankfully, and I wish this wasn't the case, but thankfully, Amrabat was not signed permanently because he is not good enough. And if we signed him permanently and we were stuck with him, it would be just another terrible transfer. So we're lucky on that front that we can just send him back, wipe our hands clean of that, move on to somebody else because he is not the guy for us. He is not the guy for the Premier League. He's slow. He probably does belong in Italy. He probably performs pretty well in Italy. But just not for us. And I don't know what's going on with Casemiro. I mean, Jesus, like he was so bad again. He was awful against Chelsea. I was saying to take him off at halftime. And in this match, he wasn't great again, and I think he should have been subbed out. For sure. And I would have left Kobbie on. I'm disappointed for Diallo again. The kid should be getting some minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, something. I know a lot of people would probably argue, that he needs to maybe be starting, which I wouldn't even hold him against. But, dude, you got to give the kid something. You got to give him something. He shouldn't be not even playing a minute. The kid was a hero. He got us through to the next half, and he was suspended, and now he hasn't even in 2 matches he hasn't played a single minute, and I don't think that's correct. Again, Marcus Rashford, he came on as a substitute against Chelsea, completely pissed me off. Wasn't doing what was needed of him, jogging, watching players just dribbling past him, not pressing correctly, not being in the correct positions. Gets a start today against Liverpool. Manager kind of puts extra pressure on him, saying he needs to have a big game. We need to have a big game from him. And he did not have a big game, in my opinion. I don't think he did enough. And I honestly think if you put Amad Diallo in, he would have gave us twice as much as Rashford gave us. And it's a little bit concerning that Ten Hag is choosing to stick this route. I wish he would make these changes. But we do know how stubborn he is. It took him a while to drop Anthony down into the bench. And, it's probably going to take a while for any of the other changes that we need, because it seems like that's just how he operates. Unfortunately, right? So, I want to read some Ten Hag quotes, and we're gonna do quick player ratings, and then we will get out of here because I don't want to keep it going too long. Let me just tweet something out. Okay. So Ten Hag has had some quotes. I want to read out the quotes. Are they? Jurgen Klopp saying that if United play like we did today, Arsenal will win the game. Talking about United versus Arsenal. Well, no shit. I mean, in the first half terms, yeah. Second half, I don't think we were that bad. Eric Ten Hag on Johnny Evans and Rafael Varane said, I don't think at short notice they will return. So he's saying potentially they are both out for the rest of the season. That is, if I'm reading that right, or if he's saying in the short term, either one. But that's not good news. But the good news is that Willy Kambwala put in a fantastic performance, and he looks very, very solid. And you know what? Maybe this is what we needed anyway. Sometimes things are forced upon us, whether we think we're ready for it or not. And you know what? This team's been looking for center backs. There's been talks about getting new center backs. Well, we have a kid here, and he played absolutely fantastic, and it looks like he's going to get more chances. And let's see, man. Maybe, boom, that's one less position we need to fill. One less player that we have to spend money on. We could bring this kid through. We have a couple good kids. All the kids that have been coming through so far, they are the ones that have been performing for us. week in and week out pretty much. And carrying these teams. I mean, Mainoo, Garnacho, Hoyland for a period, but Hoyland's been struggling because he doesn't get the ball. He doesn't receive opportunities. When he does get the ball, he's finding himself in positions swarmed by two players, having to hold the ball up because there's no outlet for him to do a give and go, quick. And yeah, it's really impacting his performances, and I feel bad for him because you can't even judge him correctly on a performance because it's just like he is just not seeing the ball. And we don't play for him. We play for the wingers. We play for our inside forwards. We do not play for the strikers. So it's very difficult on him. So it's hard to criticize him super hard. I think that there was a couple instances that he could have done better today. When he did receive the ball in his feet, he did lose it a couple times, and I think he had to do better holding the ball up. I seen him do better holding the ball up, and I know he could do better holding the ball up. But then again, when you're not in the constant flow of the match, it's hard to keep up with the pace when you're not getting the ball and not touching the ball so much. You know what I mean? So, there's always that. And let's see. Eric Ten Hag on Willy Kambwala. Great opportunity for him. We have other options like bringing Casemiro in at center half, but today he deserved it and he showed it on the pitch. He absolutely did. I would like Eric Ten Hag to follow up on those words, play him again, keep giving him his opportunities, and he should follow suit for the same thing for Diallo because Diallo showed it on the pitch, and Diallo deserves it as well. So, I think a lot of people are to the point that Marcus Rashford needs to be dropped. Marcus Rashford should not be starting. Marcus Rashford is not doing his duties as a Manchester United player, and he's certainly not doing it as a starter. So I think his time has come. I think he's got multiple opportunities. He's not producing. Give Diallo his chance. The kid's hungry. He did something amazing for us already. So I don't see why Diallo isn't getting his chance. And I'm concerned on that aspect because I think there's a player in Diallo, and you can only alienate somebody and withhold them from their chance for so long before they get fed up and frustrated, and maybe he decides that he doesn't want to stay here and he wants to go somewhere else. And I don't want to lose that kind of player when there's a lot of other players that should be moved on and need to be moved on, and he is certainly not one of them. That's for sure. So Eric Ten Hag on the league position, he said, I don't know. We will keep fighting. We have to do the same and learn from the moments. Brentford was our worst performance. We didn't deserve to win there. Yeah, I mean, we didn't. And we didn't deserve to win, and we didn't win. But, the 3 games, 2 points. That's not great either, especially when we were trying to get into the Champions League. I still believe that we're not going to make it. I just don't see how we do it. I really don't. But other than that, maybe like 1 or 2 more Ten Hag quotes here. Eric Ten Hag on belief. He said it's 2 things. One thing is physical after Thursday, a big intense game, and the return from London, dealing with the frustration. On the other side is belief that you can win the duels, such duels. Ten Hag saying, you see how we are improving and the potential of the squad is amazing. I am proud. In decisive areas, we are losing battles, especially with young players. We were not confident to win them. We encouraged in the second half to do better, and they stepped up. I mean, they did step it up in the second half. They did. You could tell that they did. So let's do player ratings and let's get out of here and everybody can enjoy their Sunday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Whoever's tuned in so far, we greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please smash the like button for us. It really helps us out, gets the channel seen more, which we're trying to do. We're trying to build a community. So if you're in here, thank you for joining, and please get involved either in the live chat or the comments down below after the stream has ended. But let's get on to the player ratings, and we are going to start with Andre Onana. We're going to give him a 6.5. You could argue maybe on the first goal he could have done better, but I think overall he had a very good match. He made some very quality saves. He was doing his time wasting like he has always done. For the most part, his kicking distribution was very well. Maybe a couple misplaced passes, but that's gonna happen. It's never gonna be perfect, especially with our players and the way that they don't understand how to necessarily play out of the back. But I think overall he deserves a 6.5. He did very good. Diego Delo, I would give him a 6. I think he played good today. Not anything spectacular, but he did good. Average performance from him. Harry Maguire, give him a 6.5. I think Harry Maguire played good. Solid performance. Was back there, was fighting, was tussling it out the whole match. And these are the performances that we always wanted to see from Maguire. Just be a solid person that we can count on, that we don't have to worry about at the back. And I think that's what he showed today. Willy Kambwala, he's getting a 7. Kid was great. Kid was great. Happy for him. I love when the youngsters get their opportunity and they take it. I would like to see more of this. And again, I'm going to keep mentioning, this kid deserved it, and he took his chance, and Diallo has to get his chance. I think he's already done something for us on the pitch, and he deserves more chances. So, but Kambwala, start to finish, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So there's always that, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in the next match. I hope he can keep up the same level. Wan-Bissaka, he's getting a 5 from me. Solely because I think Wan-Bissaka played well. He was about a 6, but that tackle to give up the penalty was just a stupid decision. It was a stupid mistake, and for that, his score has to drop below a 6 into a 5. You might even argue a 4.5. I think a 4.5 is a little bit harsh because of his overall play for the whole game. Yeah, but just yet again, another just bad mistake at the end of the game. And just we couldn't hold on to the 3 points. I mean, we could have had 9 points out of these 3 games, if it wasn't for just stupidness and mistakes and just poor split seconds in the game. I think Casemiro, is borderline for me, a 4.5 to a 5. I think he was horrible again. Second match in a row. I said it before. I'll say it again. This guy is either halfway to Saudi Arabia, or during international break when he sustained his injury, this guy hit his head and he's forgotten that he's Casemiro, and he's forgotten how to play his game because he was just not on it. I mean, there was times where he literally watched people run past him. He did do Casemiro things, making some crazy wild tackles and stuff like that, but there was just too many times where, he missed the ball, he didn't kick the ball, he didn't clear the ball, he was late to react. It was a poor performance from Casemiro, and I have to keep it that way because if the way I look at it is, if Scott McTominay performed the way he did, everybody would be going mental and everybody would be killing Scott McTominay. So again, you cannot perform like that, especially from a player that we expect a lot better, and we know could do a lot better. He was absolutely awful, and I'm kind of concerned because there's nobody to really replace this guy. So we need him to play good, and he's not playing good. And I'm worried. I'm worried about that. Kobbie Mainoo, I'm giving him a 7. What a goal. What a goal. The kid just every game, he just never seems fazed by anything. I mean, this kid, the way he conducts himself on the pitch, the way he holds himself up, it's like he's a 10-year pro. I love this kid. He keeps doing it every week. He keeps coming up big. He's only getting better. He's only building more confidence. So I'm excited for this kid. And when I look at these younger players, there's a bit of excitement for me because I'm like, if we can just take these kids, Mainoo, Garnacho, Kambwala, you could even add in there, maybe Diallo, Højlund, and we can really build a team around these guys, the future might not look so bad than what it looks like now with the current squad. But we need to have a plan and a strategy for that. And I don't know if they're going to go down that route. Who knows what's going to happen? But when I look at that aspect, I feel a slight encouragement because I'm like, there is something here that we can build around, and I hope that we go down this route of doing it. Bruno Fernandes, for me, 5.5. The goal saves him. I think his performance wasn't great. If he didn't score that goal, it would be a flat 5 for me. But you know, great goal, fantastic goal. I mean, got me out of my seat for that one. But overall performance, again, wasn't amazing. Um, so he's got to do better. But I personally think that I think Bruno is burnt out. I think he's played too many matches. And I think he's mentally burned out. And whether he feels like he can still keep playing, I think it's leading to a lot of mistakes all over the pitch. I just think he's mentally fatigued. Um, and I don't know, but Ten Hag won't drop him. And there's probably numerous reasons for that, but one is probably the captain. Two, I feel like Ten Hag looks at a lot of statistics, him and his departments, and they heavily go off of statistics. And if you look at statistically wise, Bruno Fernandes is one of the only players that creates the most chances. He does give the ball away a lot, but he does create the most chances in the team. So it's like a Jekyll and Hyde sort of thing, because it's like, well, you drop him, you're taking out a player that, yes, he's not playing great, and yes, he is giving the ball away, but he's also a player that's creating the most chances in the team. So I don't know. You have to make the argument for yourself, and I guess it's one that Ten Hag makes: is it worth to take this guy out? Because you're taking out our best chance creator, essentially, to put in Mason Mount. But then it's like, does Mason Mount, statistically wise, does he hit the level that Bruno does in terms of creating chances? And then if he doesn't, it's like, well, is that worth it? Is that something that you should be doing? Personally, for me, I think at certain points you do have to. He needs a break. He needs a rest. He can't be playing 90 minutes every single match. And he does need to get substituted out at some point, regardless of him being the captain or not. I don't think it's right for him to continuing playing, especially if he's struggling to perform. Garnacho, I'll give him a 6. He had a couple opportunities. Mostly a lot of the shots he took was blocked. He struggled to get into the match a little bit in moments. Playing on the right-hand side, came on the left-hand side, playing good. I don't necessarily agree with the fact that he pulled them off. But then again, this kid has played a lot. Everybody is different. I know that we just said that Bruno plays like every single match, and he's mentally fatigued. But I think, Bruno is one of those people that he doesn't seem to get an injury somehow. So his body might be a little bit different in terms of that. But Garnacho has also played a lot. And he can't be playing 90 minutes every single game either. This is just the modern game. Players need minutes reduced and they need rest. But for a match like that, I think I would have kept him in because he just provides so much defensively and offensively for us that I think he needed to stay on. But it was Ten Hag's call, and I kind of understood why he took him off, because he was trying to shore up the center of the pitch because we had nothing going on there. So he tried to put on an extra center mid, a little bit more defensive, and Amrabat, but Amrabat just doesn't have the quality. So it just doesn't produce anything. So it was almost pointless. So I think Ten Hag made a mistake on that. And probably shouldn't have went down that route. Marcus Rashford, 4.5 to a 5. I don't think he did anything special. Manager asked for him to have a big match. He did not have a big match. Again, I'm going to say it. Again, I would be dropping him. He would not be starting. And it would be, for me, Garnacho, Anthony, and Diallo. Top 3. You could have an argument between Anthony and Diallo of who starts and then who comes off the bench. Rashford, for me, has... In terms of form and attitude and shit that he's showing on the pitch, he should be 4th choice. He should not be starting. He's not producing anything for us, so I just don't understand why he's continuing to be played. I do, in the back of my head, some cynical stuff of that you do have this player. You do that to him, it is going to cause issues. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, it will cause issues in the dressing room. There will be certain players that will take Rashford's side. There will be certain players that will be upset that Marcus Rashford has been dropped and totally taken out of the team, including himself. So I don't know. Maybe Ten Hag is aware of this, and maybe he's afraid of that. For the team cohesion, because he is still trying to fight. He still needs them to put in the best performance they can for the remainder of the games. He cannot have let it collapse. He wants to have the best possible chance. Whether he's going to get there or not is a different story. But he's made it clear that they are going to fight till the very last day, and he needs to keep this until the season ends. We also still have a trophy technically to play for, so there are some things that he has to make sure that the team mentality doesn't just completely go into the sewer. Anthony, I give him a 5.5. It was a little bit lackluster, which is kind of sad because he did perform well the past two matches. I think his energy was a little bit low. Gave the ball away once or twice. He did some all right things going forward. But yeah, it was a little strange. I think he had trouble getting caught up to the speed of the game. Amrabat for me 5. Just didn't like what I saw from him. Doesn't provide anything. Too slow. Too slow. And he just isn't it. He just isn't it. So he's got to go. We got to send him back. And that's it. Mason Mount, I give him a 6. Pretty average for his cameo. Hopefully, he can start to play more, because I think we need to see more of him than just 10, 15, 20 minutes. He needs to play more. So hopefully, we can increase his minutes more. I would like to see him probably starting, actually. And Ten Hag, I give him a 6 for the match. It was average. I think first half was not great. Second half, he adjusted some things, talked to the team, made them play better. Tried with the substitutions. I don't think the substitutions necessarily let us down. Again, I think it was an individual just mistake by a player, which cost us a goal, which has happened multiple times this season. And yeah, I think in terms of the result, it's not the worst result. We did get a point against Liverpool. For the way that we're playing, for where we are in the league, for where they are in the league, it's not a terrible result. It feels a little bit disappointing to me because we could have won that game. We didn't deserve to win it based on the first half performance. We were a little bit lucky. Second half, we brung it up. And we were taking the opportunity that was presented to us, that we were still in the match. We were leading, and I feel like we could have really closed that game out. I feel like Liverpool wouldn't have scored the goal from open play. We gave them the goal, and we lost 2 points, in my opinion, because I feel like we really could have got the 3 points, and we just didn't. So man of the match is going to be Willy Kambwala, because I think he played absolutely fantastic from 0 to 90 minutes. He had a man of the match performance, so I'm happy to give it to the kid. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play. If you tuned in, thank you for sharing your time with us. Thank you for being here. Get your comments down anywhere in below after the matches, after this is over. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button for us. I greatly appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. So please click the like button for us. Thank you. And we will see you sometime in the following week. If anything major breaks, of course, we will go live, or we will have a video depending on what time and what happens. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good morning, good night, good evening from wherever you're from, wherever you're watching. And until next